Hello, and welcome to our Thursday night call. My name is Jana Garcia, and I'm a Diamond Ambassador with Plexus, and I have Shannon McCumber, who is an Emerald with Plexus. And we are coming to you tonight to talk to you about building your business on Facebook. And maybe not everybody knows, but me and Shannon both have built the majority of our business on Facebook. And I think it's pretty crazy and wonderful. And, I know Shannon does too, but I pinch myself all the time and think, I was on Facebook before I joined Plexus, and I was on it all the time. And I would scroll Facebook, and a lot of my social life was on Facebook, like probably a lot of you guys and a lot of people that we know. And so to be able to earn an income doing the same kind of thing that I was doing before, just doing it in a different way, we are able to bring in a great income for our families and train other people to do the same thing. So that's what we're going to talk to you about tonight. We talked to Jessica Higdon a couple of weeks ago, and she gave us some really great stuff. After we were on that call with her, we said, well, there's a lot of stuff that she didn't say that we can say that we did, specific to Plexus. And so that's what we want to talk to you about today. And so we have a little outline going. And so Shannon is going to talk first about getting started with Plexus, with your Plexus journey on Facebook.
Okay. I think we can all agree that when we first start out, it's a little bit daunting because you think, maybe you're not quite sure about the products yet. Maybe your belief isn't 100% there yet, not only in the products, but the company and maybe the other ambassadors. And that is a normal feeling. So we wouldn't expect somebody to come in and be like, I believe, so we do expect you to come in and be ready to go for that. And so sometimes we do have to just jump right in and start posting about what Plexus is, what it's about. Now, I personally think the best approach to when you're going to do your very first post about Plexus is that it needs to be honest. It needs to be transparent. It needs to be why you are doing this, because the thing is, your very first post, you're going to be talking to your friends and family. You're going to put it out there. And just like you're a skeptic about it, they're going to be a skeptic about it. But it's going to rely on you and your passion and your transparency with it and how it's going to relate to them and how they're going to perceive it. So putting that first post out there is really important. I don't know that I can remember what exactly my very first post was or how I did it. I do remember doing my first before and after post. I do remember doing that, but I remember after I had taken the products for 2 or 3 days, maybe it was a week, but I knew it. It wasn't something I felt, or I just knew that this was something that was going to change my life, because I really think I was in a spot at that time mentally where I was like, I need this, and I'm going to make this work for me because I need it that bad. And when you get to that point in your life where you're physically saying, I have to make a change. I physically have to make a change in this because I need it. My family needs it. My husband needs it. My kids need me to do this. And if that doesn't drive you, I don't know what else will drive you. So that's what I suggest when you're doing that first post. Make it exciting. Take a picture of you with your products, saying, hey, you know what? I'm taking a leap of faith and I'm going to do this. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing it for my husband. I'm doing it for my kids. I'm doing it for the freedom that I want to find in the future for my family. How can people argue with that? You can't. You can't argue with someone who's trying to do better by themselves and by their family. So you have to put that out there. Don't wait for changes. Don't wait to lose weight. Don't wait for something to happen, some miraculous 50-pound weight loss in 10 days, because it's not going to happen. This is a tool. It's not something that's going to do that for you. But you can exude passion. You can exude belief. You can put that out there and say, you know what? I'm going to do this, and I would love, more than anything, is to have my family and friends doing this with me as a support system. So I want you to do this with me. Join me. Then that's your first post. Your daily post, you want to post daily about Plexus. Number one, that's going to build validation for you and for your business, because people will be watching you every day. They're going to be watching you to see if you quit. That's why they're going to be watching you. And so you've got to post every day, letting people know, you know what, I'm not a quitter. I will not give up on this. I will see it to the finish. I will see it to my end result, to my goal that I'm setting for myself and for my family. I'm going to do it. And so that relies on you to get out there and to post every single day. You got to post about how it's affecting your life. If it's bringing you joy, then you post about joy. If it's bringing you weight loss, then you post about weight loss. If it's helping you feel stronger, if it's helping you feel more focused, then you need to post about that. Do something different every single day. You don't have to post 10 times a day about Plexus, but you can post one intentional post every single day about Plexus. Now, what you don't want to do is fill your wall only with Plexus, because people are still interested in you and your kids and your family and what you guys are doing and if you're having fun, because you don't want to lose that. You don't want to lose that relationship. You don't want to lose that connection that you have with your audience, with your people on social media. So you want to stick to that. And a big thing is you want to stay compliant. And when you start posting and you join, you may not know all the compliance rules, that you can't mention diseases, or you can't mention exact amounts of money, how much people are making in the business, those types of things. But we do have, that's when you go to your upline and you say, okay, I'm not quite sure about this, but I kind of got a post I'm working on. Can you look at it and tell me what you think about it? And I guarantee your sponsor or anybody else in the group, you can go to the groups that you're in and do a post and say, hey, I'm thinking about posting this. Is there a way to make it better? Is there a way to make it more effective? I feel like our groups are completely underutilized, because we have people in there with sales over $2,000-$3,000 a month. There's a reason they're good at sales, because they know how to communicate with people. They're really good at posting. So go in those groups and say, hey, I'm coming up with this post, or I wanted to post this. Can I get some input? But that takes you not being afraid. That takes you being bold and passionate and not having an ego and going in and saying, you know what? I want this so bad. I'm willing to put everything else on the shelf in order to find success in doing this. You want to start thinking about attraction marketing. What is going to draw your crowd to you? I think about that every day when I'm posting. When I post, I know when I'm posting, number one, I want to do things that are funny, because I know that people like to see me be funny. And I like to be funny. I like to do stuff like the post I just did with the blower and blowing my hair. That's funny. And that's what my family know me and my friends know me when we're around. I'm laughing, cracking jokes. So that is me in a nutshell. But it's not the only thing I do. I'm also passionate about cycling. I'm also passionate about doing things with my family. I'm passionate about Plexus. I'm passionate about going to the gym. I'm passionate about health and wellness. I'm passionate about what I eat and the diet. And I never thought those things would be part of me. So you have to think of ways to insert that into your posting every day, but it has to be believable. It can't be somebody coming up and saying, well, that's not very believable. That's really salesy. Like today I did a post. Some people say, well, that's not really a Plexus post, but it absolutely was a Plexus post. It was a picture of me sitting in my car making a face like that, because I was like, I so don't like sitting in rush hour traffic. I'm glad I don't have to do this every single day. And then I hashtag Plexus Freedom, keeps me from having to sit in traffic or whatever. That is a Plexus post, but it's also a post that relates to people who have to sit in rush hour traffic every morning and every evening. And I have the time freedom to not do that because of my Plexus business. So it's little things like that. It doesn't always have to be salesy about a product, about the ingredients. It's about a lifestyle, and you have to create that and show that when it comes to what you're posting about. So you have to create that attraction, and you have to create that brand for yourself. Now, you may be thinking, well, I don't know what my brand is. And that may take you a little bit to develop what your brand is. Maybe you enjoy reading or going outside. Whatever it is, find a way to link that into Plexus and how you can relate it back to it and start creating that brand. And it may not be something you develop overnight. It may take you a little bit to develop it, and that's okay. Be proud and be excited, be bold, be passionate about posting every day, because the energy that you're bringing out is the energy that's going to be brought forward. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard this quote, but the speed of the leader is the speed of the team. So if you are a leader and you have people under you, your speed is what other people under you are going to create. So you've got to create that branding, that attraction, that transparency, that energy, that passion, that boldness. You have to create that. And then your team, they're going to duplicate whatever you do. So put that out there and start doing it. All right, that's all I have for getting started and posting. It's a lot. But now I'm going to turn it back over to Jana.
Let me ask you one thing in reference to that, Shannon. What about two things? One, negative posts, and two, posts that, we're a health and wellness company, so posts that show very unhealthy living lifestyle or negative.
Number one, I didn't bring up negative posts because negative posts should never happen. You should not be on your wall talking about how terrible a service you got at such and such restaurant, or you didn't like how you were treated at Walmart, or you didn't like the barista at Starbucks, or you don't like what your ex-husband's doing to you. Yes, all of those things happen. I can appreciate your frustration with that, but social media is not the place to air those types of things, especially when you're trying to run a business. Because if I get on there and I start talking about all things negative, people tune that out. They're like, well, I don't even need to, because I don't want to be on her team. I don't want to sign up under somebody like that that's just going to bring negativity in my life, because whether you think it or not, or whether you would do it or not, people will automatically assume that you will bring that into your business. So they're not going to want to be a part of drama and negativity. So try to keep that off your walls. Political posts, don't do political posts. Now, I'm not saying don't be passionate about politics. Don't be passionate about your beliefs. Absolutely be passionate about things, but make sure if you are going to post it, make sure it's in a positive light. Don't be negative. Make it a positive. And you can post politically and be positive about it. And if other people want to get ugly on your post, you just say, hey, this is a positive post about politics. We're not going to go negative. We're not going to get trashy up in here. So just nick it in the bud. What was the second question?
What if somebody's posting like recipes for chocolate chip cookies and brownies all day?
Gotcha. I'm just going to tell you guys, this is one of my biggest pet peeves. Is when, and if you've done this, please don't get mad at me because I said this.
Tough luck.
When somebody has like a giant burger and fries and a giant milkshake, and then they sit a Plexus bottle of Block in the middle of it. Like that makes it okay to eat it. I'm not saying it's not okay to eat that stuff, but that Block is not going to block that entire cheeseburger, that large fries, and that milkshake. It's just not. I'm sorry, it's not.
And people think when you do that, that's what you're doing every day.
Yes.
So if you post a picture of a piece of birthday cake, you can say, I occasionally indulge in a piece of birthday cake, and I take my Block at the same time.
When I take it, yes. Because it kind of puts it off like, hey, if you just carry this Block with you, you can eat whatever you want any time of day because this Block is going to block it out. That is not how Block is intended to use, how it's intended to use. You are in a health and wellness company, and you need to reflect that in what you do day in and day out, what you eat, what you put in your body, how you exercise day in and day out. Now, this is probably a good time to bring this up. Next week's call, we are doing a complete call on wellness, types of foods to eat, how to work out, how to build up your metabolism, how to get a slow metabolism to a fast metabolism. I'm going to spend with Jana an hour talking to you guys about that, and how to coach customers on how to do that and how to talk to them about that. Little tips and tricks for people who have eating issues. I, like myself, I had eating issues. And there's little things that you can do to help that, to be better at that. So that's going to be next week. So make sure you guys are going to be here next week, because it's going to be an extremely informative call on your body, the types of foods we need to burn fat, how to work out and not just burn sugar, but to burn fat in your body, because there is a difference. I don't know if you guys, there is a difference. I spent way too many months burning sugars instead of burning fats. So it's going to be really good. So anyways, I think that answers the question. But yeah, when you're completely like sharing how to make German chocolate cakes, or how to make Oreo truffle pie, or whatever you're trying to make or save, if you're going to save those, save them to your computer, because people look at it and go, I thought she was a Plexus ambassador. I thought she's trying to lose weight. I thought she's trying to be healthy. Because that creates a double standard. You see what I'm saying? If I were to go on there and post that I'm eating cheeseburgers every day, but yet I'm going to get my certification as a personal trainer, you can see how that is kind of, that doesn't build much validation for me and my business. People aren't going to take me serious when I say I'm serious about your health and I want you to feel how I feel. I mean that. I mean that. And I want to help you with that. So, yeah.
Well, and basically, we're trying to draw people into our health and wellness lifestyle. And that's what you got to keep in mind, is that that's part of your branding. Regardless of what you decide your branding is going to be, our company is health and wellness. So part of your branding needs to be health and wellness. And you have to bring value and education in that area to your Facebook. Like Shannon said, even when you're not mentioning Plexus, when people think of you, when people think of Jana, they need to think of healthy. When people think of Shannon, they need to think of healthy. They need to think, okay, I'm going to go to her wall because she's going to bring, or he is going to bring value in the education and motivation for me to get healthier. That's going to draw people in to, first of all, buy your products and then want to be on your team. Yes. Now, if you're trying to draw, you don't want to draw in people that just eat cheeseburgers and brownies all day. You're trying to draw in people that want a healthier lifestyle.
Yes.
So that's kind of what we have to do. We have to put things of value out there. So articles on getting healthier. Maybe you're going to post a recipe for a low-fat or low-carb, high-protein meal, and you're going to share a recipe on that. Sharing healthy things like that will draw people to you, and they'll be like, oh, I'm ready to get healthy. I need to go and watch her stuff. So that's kind of what we talk about when we say making your page bring value to the people that you're trying to attract.
Absolutely.
So I will say too, we only have a few topics tonight. That's why they're a little bit longer. Because Facebook was the way that we created our teams and our incomes, we wanted to spend a lot of time on each one of these things to give you guys exactly what we did. And this is exactly what we did to get there. I will say too, make sure you stay on to the end of the call. We're going to try to keep it as short as possible. But if you get off before the end of the call, you might miss something that's going to change your business. So try to stay on to the very end of the call. My topic is going to be groups. And I just kind of said it like groups, but really the main part of what I want to talk about is relationships. Because me and Shannon feel like that relationships is really what got us to where we are. And if you don't create relationships, you can post stuff all day long and nobody's going to want to join you. You have to create relationships with other people. Then when people join you, you have to connect them to each other and then connect them to other Plexus ambassadors so that they will learn and get motivated and educated too. We do this mostly through groups. If you're a new Plexus ambassador, the first thing you're going to want to do after posting and learning how to post on your wall is to find people that you can duplicate. Find people that are successful. Find people that are really great at, like Shannon is really great at posting healthy stuff. Follow people like Shannon. Okay, there is a follow button on your computer on Facebook where you can follow people. I would also suggest that you friend some fellow sideline ambassadors. If you see, like say in Shannon's group or my group, if you see somebody that's posting all the time and they're really into Plexus and they're really into growing their business, friend that person, send them a private message and say, you know what, I'm trying to grow my business too. I would love to watch your stuff, and that's why I friended you. Or follow that person. A lot of the people that are jewels and up will have the follow button on, and that's because Facebook only allows us to have 5,000 Facebook friends, and we want to keep some of our openings for future, level 1s and 2s and 3s, but also for new prospects. And so we don't want to fill our friends list all the way with Plexus ambassadors only, because then we won't have room for new prospects. So that's why we turn our follow button on. And so for me, I have my follow button on, and you can follow me, and all of my Plexus posts I make public. And then that way you can watch. A lot of the jewels and diamonds have the follow button so that you can follow them. Highly, highly suggest that you friend some sidelines. If you're not sure who to friend, ask your sponsor or ask your nearest jewel upline, and they will find you some people that you can friend so that you can walk with them in this journey. And I mean, so many times I see people, they'll come to me for help, maybe a level 4 or 5, and I'll go and I'll friend them, or I'll look on their wall, and they won't have any mutual friends, and not even their upline. And I'll be like, no, you have to have Plexus friends in this journey. You have to run with people. You have to have things in common. Where are you going to find things to duplicate if you're not friends with other Plexus ambassadors? So connecting is so huge. It's so important. Now, if you have 1 ambassador or 2 ambassadors or 3 ambassadors, those people should be in a chat together with you so that you can connect them to each other. If you just have 1 ambassador, then be in a chat with that person or that person and their upline so that you can ask questions and get questions answered. Like Shannon said, our groups are very underutilized. We have thousands of people in our groups. And at any time you can come ask questions. You can come in the group and say, look, I've got 1 ambassador, I've got 2 ambassadors. I'm really looking to make this a really big business, a team. I'm looking to run with other people who are at the same level as I am. People can friend you in that. Y'all can get in a chat group. This is what we did when we started. We were in a chat group with Shannon and Amy and Candy, lots of people where we ran together and we shared business ideas, and we got on the phone and talked, and we connected with each other. That is such a huge part of our process. You cannot do this business alone. You have to have people to run with. But groups wise, people ask us all the time about customer groups, because when we first started, we all had a customer group. We trained every new ambassador to open up a customer group immediately, put all of their friends in the customer group, and then start posting in there. Mainly, we posted on our regular wall too, but mostly we posted in our customer group. And people ask me, do you still believe in customer groups? I do believe in customer groups. I think that they're a great place to educate your customers and your prospects. I don't think it's a good place anymore to get new people because there's so many groups now that you get thrown into with mascara and makeup and leggings, and people are over that. People are over being put in a group. So now when I get a new ambassador, I train them to open up a customer group and start posting some valuable educational stuff in there. You can post a lot more stuff in your customer group than you can on your regular wall as far as product education and different things like that, more of it. And so when you want to have a group like that, because when you have a customer or when you have a prospect, you can say, you know what, I have a customer group, I can put you in, and there's a lot of motivational stories and different things in there where you can get educated. So I believe in the customer group still. A customer group is just a private group you create on Facebook, and you can put whoever you want in there. But I would suggest putting your prospects, your current customers, and also your ambassadors in there, because your ambassadors are going to need a place where they can go get stuff that they can duplicate. So we all still have customer groups. My customer group has a lot of ambassadors in it, and mostly I post in there so that other ambassadors can find stuff to post, and also to educate and motivate. I mean, there's times where I go to somebody's customer group and I see them posting about something, and I get motivated and I get excited about something, and I want to go take my products right then, or I want another pink drink because I see somebody drinking a pink drink. It can motivate ambassadors as well as customers. As far as team groups go, we highly suggest that you wait to start a team group until you are ready to take the responsibility of giving those people everything that they need. And that is not a small task. You know, a lot of times we see people will start an ambassador group when they're silver, or they have 5 ambassadors. And that's a really hard thing to do, because what happens is those people tend to only go to that group, and they're missing out on the bigger groups and the value that those bigger groups have. And so I would suggest that you make sure that your team members are plugged into the bigger groups before you start your own team group. And when you get a chat going and you've got so much activity in your chat that you can't keep up with it, that's when it's time to start a group, because that's when you need to foster those relationships between each other. What I always did was, when I had ambassadors in whatever ambassadors, if I had 5 level 1s, I would make sure all 5 of those level 1s were in a chat, and I would make sure they friended each other. The first thing you want to do is connect people to each other. That is huge. People will stay if they feel like they're in a family. If they feel like they're in a family environment, they will stay. And so building relationships is so important. And then also, non-Plexus groups are a great way to build relationships with prospects. And Jessica Higdon talked to us a lot about that kind of thing. But that's so important. You know, me and Shannon, we both adopted little girls from Guatemala. So we were both involved in this big Guatemala moms group. I mean, this could be anything. This could be like Amy Kay has Down syndrome, a Down syndrome daughter. And so she has a large group of people like that, moms of them. And moms of just, if you adopted from China, or if you are gluten-free, whatever your interests are, whatever your passions are, become members of groups and start building relationships, because building relationships is where it's at. So Facebook groups was a big part of our growth. Team groups, also important groups to really make sure you pay attention to are training groups. We have a big training group. I know Shannon has training groups for her team, but we have a big training group that everybody can be in. It's called New Ambassador Success Guide, I think. And then we have the Rockin' training videos, and that's where I put all the different videos so that you don't have to go search on YouTube for different videos. And every week when we do a call, I put that call into the same thread, so that that's an easy place to go find the weekly call that we do as well. So we have lots of groups. We have lots of things that you can get involved in, but I would say post as much as you can in the groups, ask as many questions as you can. One thing about groups that's really important, a lot of people don't know, is that you can search for stuff in a group. In any group, any Facebook group you're in, there's a bar at the very top, and you can go up there and you can, or if you're on your phone, you just click on the search button in that group, and you can search for anything in that group. So if you're trying to find out about people who have diabetes, you can type diabetes in there. If you're trying to find out comp plan posts, you can put comp plan in there, but utilize that search button. If you can't find it, then post your question, and people will answer. You've got amazing leaders in our groups that come in and they answer questions whenever you have them. If you need a testimony on a certain thing, come in there and ask it, and there'll probably be somebody that's been through that. But relationships and connecting is huge, huge, huge. So I'm going to turn it back over to Shannon. She's going to talk about reaching out, unless you have something else to add on.
No, that was perfect. No, it was great.
Shannon's going to talk about reaching out.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit about reaching out, getting people on the phone, 3-way chats, 3-way calls. A lot of people, I do get a lot of, well, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to get people on the phone. Today I was even doing a coaching call, and we were talking about people and objections, or they just crickets. You might send, they're like hot on the trail, right? And they're like, oh yeah, I want to get those products, I want to order that, and then you're like, okay, great, and you send them your link, and then it's crickets for days. And you're like, are they going to order? Are they not going to order? Or what? And so I was telling my ambassador today, I said, what I do, and I said, it seems to work, is that I message that person as soon as they say, hey, yeah, I'm going to order, I'm interested, I'm going to order. I don't just leave it at that. I just don't send them the link and then just leave it. because I'm not going to wait on somebody who may get distracted by their kids or distracted by their work or whatever. So I message them back and I say, hey, all right, that is fantastic. I can't wait for you to get started. Let's set up a time for me to call you so that I can walk you through the ordering process and we can do it together. So what time tomorrow is a good day to do this?
Good time.
So you're not just leaving it sitting open. You're not just waiting for somebody to order from you. You're like, okay, hey, that's exciting. I am excited. So let's set up a time for me tomorrow to call you, and then I will walk you through the ordering process to make sure you get everything ordered correctly and the right products. And I just want to be there for you because I want to support you in this journey 100%. So tell me, what time is a good time tomorrow for us to do this? You set the time. Immediately set the time so that you can get on the phone with that person and get that done. Don't just sit there and wait for them to order. Be proactive about your business. That's not being pushy. That's you being a good coach. Sometimes people need to be coached into doing things. So you have to lead them to it sometimes, you know. So that's a great way to get people on the phone. I know that getting people on the phone is hard. And the reason I know this is because Jana tried and tried and tried to get me on the phone when she was trying to get me to join Plexus. And nope, don't want to talk on the phone. And I didn't. I refused. I don't know. I was just that way. But eventually we did talk on the phone. But there will be those types of people, and that's okay. And that doesn't mean that that's a no, just because they don't want to get on the phone. Obviously, I didn't want to get on the phone, and I'm an Emerald Ambassador. So that doesn't mean it's not a no. It just means a not yet. I'm thinking about it. And a lot of green personalities will be that way because they want to think about it and they want to research it on their own, which is perfectly fine. Getting on a three-way chat where you can get people to validate the business, that third-party validation is huge. So say you have somebody that you're talking to and maybe they're not quite on board yet, or they're kind of on the fence. You can go to your upline, or if you have a Plexus pal that you're doing stuff with, you can say, hey, could you jump on a chat with me or a three-way call and say, can you bring a little bit of validation to this? This is where we are. We're currently talking about this. This is their health situation. So I just want to support them in that. And I want you guys to really think about, and I really want you to think about it when you do these things, because when you do three-way chats and you do three-way calls and you get people on the phone, I don't want your goal to be, I want to get a sale. I want a preferred customer. I want to get this. Don't make it about you, because it's not about you. Our sole purpose and intent in being a Plexus ambassador is to serve people and to help them reach their health goals like we're going for our health goals. Yes, we do want, this is a business, and yes, we want to make money in this business. But if you do enough of serving other people, what you want will come naturally to you. So focus on serving people. When you get them on a call, it should be about them and saying, look, what are your health goals? What are the issues you're dealing with right now? Because that's what we need to talk about. And we'll get more in depth to that next week when we do our wellness call and how to talk to people and to coach them for products. But three-way calls and three-way chats are fantastic. Don't be afraid to use those. Don't be intimidated to use those. Don't feel like because you bring in Jana or I to do it that we're going to steal your customer or steal your potential, because that's not what we're about, and that's not what Plexus is about. We are about helping you and giving you validation to your business. So it's important to bring that in and do three-way calls, do three-way chats. If you're not sure how to do that, ask your upline or post in the groups and say, hey, I'm not really sure how to draw people into a three-way chat. How do you guys do it? How do you approach it? What do you say? What do you say to somebody? Don't be afraid to utilize these groups. That's what they're there for. Get in there and start using them, asking questions, because there are thousands of people in there willing to help you at the drop of the hat. And the thing is too, if you have questions, chances are there's about 100 other people that have the exact same question. So don't be intimidated by getting in there and asking questions. Get in there and just do it. That's how we did it when we started. We would ask each other all the time and post questions and, well, how do you guys do this? How do you do that? You're really going fast. How do I do it? What did you think about that? So anyways, that's that for reaching out. Just make sure when you're reaching out, you're doing it with the right intention every time you're reaching out. Because if you're reaching out with the right intention every single time, it's going to happen. So have faith in that and be bold about it. Okay.
Shannon, what would you say, because I've had this question recently, what would you say when somebody asks you, like, to build a business on Facebook like we did and to get to where we are, what do you focus on, growing a team or getting customers?
I personally think that when you start out in the business, you need to focus on getting customers. You have to build that customer base. And I will tell you that that is what will sustain you as you're building a business. Even after 4 years, I still maintain my PV over 500 PV every month, because if you're going to continue to sustain your own business and you want to grow, you have to be continually adding new customers and then flipping those customers to ambassadors. And a lot of times there are people who want the business right away, which is fine. So you sign them into the business right away because that's what they want. Now, if someone's not sure, they're not certain about that, then you make them a customer and teach them and show them and guide them on how to love the products. Because if you can coach someone to love the products and to find success with our products, they are going to be lifers. That is somebody that's going to give you sustainable income for the next 10 to 20 years because they love the products. They love the feel. They love the family atmosphere that is in Plexus that we try so hard to create within our teams. I know Jana does, and I try my hardest to create a team family atmosphere and that everyone is accepted no matter who you are, what you do. You are all accepted into our family. So, and I feel like that's huge to do that. But yeah, I think that's a big deal.
Yeah. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with giving even a potential customer the option to build a business.
Absolutely.
Every single customer, and I know you feel the same way, every single customer that I've ever had, they know that if they find people that will order, that they know they can earn money from that. Mm-hmm. And they know that I'm doing this for an income. And they know that as soon as they make that choice to do this for an income, I'm all over it to help them to do that. So just being really open with people when you're talking to them. And like Shannon said, next week we'll talk kind of more about what that conversation looks like when somebody comes to you and asks you about Plexus, or when you reach out to somebody about the products. But always, the base is the products. So if the base is the products, then customers is the first thing you're looking for. Mm-hmm. But every single prospect needs to know that there's a business behind this too. Mm-hmm. And so making sure that they know that that's an option and that you think that they would be great at that, whatever their strength is. If you're the PTA president, you would be awesome at this. Mm-hmm. But, if you're not sure if you're going to like the products, then go ahead and try the products as a customer first, but know that there's a business behind this as well. Now, every person is going to be a customer first. There will be people that want the business, and there are people that join my team that don't even care if they like the products or not. They've never even tried them, but they know that this is a viable business and they're going to do it. They trust me, and they know that if I like the products, that they're going to like them too. Mm-hmm. And people that come in with that attitude always love the products because their mindset is great. They want that. They want this. They know it's a great business. They trust me, and they always like the products.
Right.
But like Shannon said, if they're unsure, you don't want to tell somebody, well, why don't you just buy it wholesale? And then later on, you can decide whether you like it or not. That's not a good way to start your business. You need to make sure that
make them a preferred customer.
Yeah. Now, if somebody's a preferred customer for 2 or 3 months, and they have the option and they have the capabilities of building a business, that's when you be bold and you say, look, Kathy, you love these products.
Right.
You've got a big family. You're a teacher. it's crazy for you not to be sharing these with people.
Mm-hmm.
You could make money. Even if you had 3 customers, you could pay for your own products. Always be building that relationship and talking to people about what they could do with this business when they decide to do that.
And paint the picture for them. Sometimes you have to, and part of being a good ambassador, a good coach, is to paint a picture for people and saying, imagine the freedom that this could give you and your family. You know, whether it's financial freedom, health freedom, freedom to go shopping on the weekends, you know, freedom to go on a weekend trip with your husband and not have to worry about how you're going to pay for that, freedom to pay, make double payments on your minivan, whatever that is for you, you know. And I mean, when you're talking to them, you have to know a little bit about their family and their life, and which is why it's huge to stay connected to your ambassadors and your customers and know what's going on in their lives, because shame on you if you don't know anything about your customers and the people in your life. They need to know that you're connected to them, and not just because you're selling them Plexus products.
Yeah.
It's huge.
And even your prospects. I mean, that is so
Yes.
huge to get to know your prospects and find out what their needs are. Like Shannon said, make it about them. What is their need? Are they needing this for this? Are they needing this for that? Are they needing the income? Whatever that is, fill that need, and you're going to find yourself a really great customer or team member if you're feeling that need. Somebody's saying about preferred, and we'll talk more about that next week, but yes, absolutely always encourage preferred as a customer, because they're going to stay on the products longer, they're going to have better results, you're going to make more money off of it, and they're going to get a better discount. So it is a win-win all the way around. When I first started, I had a lot of customers, and 99% of them were preferred. And the only reason why that was is because I talked about preferred all the time.
Yes.
If somebody came to me and asked me how much did these products cost, the first thing I would say is, as a preferred customer, and this is what preferred means, you can cancel at any time, but you don't have to order your products every month. You get it at a discount, and you or I can cancel it at any time. Making people.
I think in the beginning, when I was doing, all I did was preferred customers. I think I made about $500 or $600 a month just on preferred bonuses.
Yeah, I did too.
And nothing with commission. That was just preferred bonuses, making $500 or $600 a month. And that's a big thing that people miss out. Yeah. And that's one of the great ways that our comp plan provides for us, is to get paid bonuses on preferred accounts.
Right.
Huge. I mean, that's when you can make $500 or $600 a month just on bonuses. You better believe you better be pushing preferred, because you know. And people are like, "Well, make them an ambassador, making them an ambassador," and which is great, and that's fine if they want to work the business. But otherwise, keep them as a preferred customer. Get paid commission on their money, and then also you're getting a bonus on them being a preferred customer. And then if they're loving the products, then that's when you flip them over to become an ambassador and let them start sharing and seeing the big picture on how they can get their products paid for free by making these same preferred bonuses and moving forward. I mean, it's just like that. I mean, it's a Ferris wheel. It just keeps going around and around, but it's your job to show them how to do that. So.
And it's all about balance too, because I mean, you can go extremely the other way, and we see people sometimes with $2,000 and $3,000 in PV every single month for a year, and they're not building a team.
Right.
And you're missing out, because these people that are loving the products enough to stay on them for a year should be ambassadors. They need to be. They're missing out on what they could do. So,
and never judge a book by a cover.
No.
Just because you think that they won't be a good ambassador or they would never do it, never judge a book by a cover, because I'm telling you right now, there are people that you would never think would be great at this business who would rock the business, because there's just something in them that makes them want to go do it. And so don't ever judge a book by its cover. So always ask, at the very least, always present the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're checking in with your customers. You're building that relationship. So every time you're checking in with your customer every month, you're like, I know you're loving your products. It's, when are you going to join me? When are you going to do this? There's an income to be had on this. And if you're already loving the products, there's no reason why you won't want the people that you love on these products too.
Right.
So we know, when we see people, if they have a high PV, we know that they need to work on flipping their customers to ambassadors to build the team. because eventually when you first start out, your majority of your income is going to come from customers, and that's great. Like Shannon said, that's awesome way to build your business. But when you want to get into dual level and you want to go to Hawaii and you want a Lexus, you're going to want to build a team. That kind of money comes from building a team. So eventually you're going to want to turn those customers into ambassadors and then get more customers, because you're constantly going to want to fill that up with new people.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's really all. That's so true. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is specials, and I'm not going to talk about that for very long. But now that we can talk about specials and we can post specials, we're all really excited about that. I know Shannon built a lot of her team with specials like that, and I mean, it's so exciting when you can offer a special. I find that most of the time, the best thing with a special is just to say, I have a special right now going on, and it's so exciting. Message me for details, or even messaging your prospects that are on the fence with your special. Post it and then message your prospects and say, did you see my special, my post that I have a special going on? I wanted to tell you about it. But it's just a great way for us to advertise that we have a special going on. I know, Shannon, I think today you put what, a $10 off one?
$10 off?
Yeah, so we got an email about that, and it tells you exactly what you can do and what you can say that you're giving away, and that how often you can do it. Don't dip it with Plexus specials when they're doing one. But the fact that we can now talk about it on our regular Facebook wall is so exciting, and we should be definitely taking advantage of it. You don't want the special to go on for too long. You want to definitely give it a time limit, like the next 3 days or this week or something like that. A lot of people make decisions on Sundays and Mondays. So a lot of times specials are good to advertise on those days, because that's when they make their decisions. But specials can be a really exciting way, especially to get fence sitters off the fence. That is one of the best ways to get a fence, because most people want a great deal. And if somebody's on the fence and they just can't decide, and you go to them and say, hey, you know what, for the next 24 hours, I'm going to give you $20 off your order, or whatever that is. People will jump. People will climb over that fence for specials. But yes, Rod says not usually on a holiday weekend. Yeah, a lot of people aren't on Facebook on holiday weekends. So yeah, that's
on weekends in general, people don't do specials.
Starting on a Sunday evening is a really good time, because then they have Monday, and when they're making these decisions to get healthier and that. The last thing I want to say is I think everything that we're talking about, the most important thing is making sure that you're consistent. And that you're daily doing these things. Whether you're going to, you need to have some work hours. You need to commit to a certain amount of time that you're working your business every single day. Some people work full time. They may only have 15 minutes a day. But if you're treating that 15 minutes, and I heard somebody say the other day, treating your business like a newborn baby, you're not going to ignore a newborn baby for more than a day.
Right.
But if you're treating your work hours like you have a newborn baby during those work hours, maybe you're going to work 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the afternoon, 15 minutes in the evening time, or you're going to work 30 minutes on your lunch hour and 30 minutes in the evening. Treat those work hours like it's a newborn baby, and you cannot neglect your baby during your work hours. Your baby's going to die if you don't tend to your baby during those times. Your business is going to die. If you don't tend to your business during those times. But just being consistent with all these different things, if you're consistent every day, that's when you're going to see success building relationships, posting, connecting people, and reaching out. Like, all those things have to be consistent on a daily basis. Treating your business like it's your job. If it's your job, you don't say, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go watch The Bachelor right now instead of going to work. You don't do that. You that's your priority. You put that first, because that's your job. So that's what you need to do during these times. Specific work hours are so important for that, because if you're allocating that time, you're going to do it. And that doesn't mean scrolling Facebook. That doesn't mean that you're liking people's stuff, and unless you're liking a prospect stuff, or you're building a relationship with a customer, or you're helping a team member out, that's not business building. That's not tending to your business if you're just scrolling Facebook. You need to be building relationships, or reaching out, or posting valuable stuff that are going to draw people to you. That's working your business.
And you also have to do it even when you don't feel like it. You know, I mean, like last week, for instance, I'll just give this example. We were on vacation. Probably you guys saw it, the Puke and Rally. You know, I was sick the entire week we were gone. My husband was sick. My kids were sick. We had severe altitude sickness. So, I mean, it was awful. Now, I intentionally didn't work my business last week because we were on vacation. I was with my family and that was planned. So, but when we came back, we got back and on Sunday night, I started working, even though I didn't feel like it because I was still really in a deep fog. And it has taken me all week to even just start to feel better because my head hurt for several days when we came back. I've been extremely tired, fatigued because we didn't sleep all week last week because of the sickness. But that I didn't let that keep me from working my business because I knew that I have goals in March that I want to reach. Number one, I want to earn winner's dinner for convention. And so that requires me to get customers. It requires me to get ambassadors. It requires me to help my team members meet the goals they want to get to. So I couldn't sit back because I have goals that I want to reach. And that takes me having to work even when I don't feel like it. So don't come up to me and say, well, I'm just not feeling good today, because you won't get any sympathy from me. I'll be like, so does that hurt your fingers to scroll Facebook and to type because you got a runny nose? I don't care if you got to sit there with a tissue up your nose working. That's what you do. Seriously, that's what I did on Monday and Tuesday this week. I sat there with the boogie things, one of those boogie wipes for kids. I sat with one stuck up my nose working because that's how. Did I feel like it? Heck no, I didn't. But I did it anyways, and I got a new preferred customer this week, and I have a new ambassador signing this week. So let me tell you, it was worth it. It was worth it all for that to happen.
Well, I mean,
you don't feel like it.
If you've ever had a child, there's lots of times you don't feel like tending to your child. Mm-hmm. That's why that's such a good analogy, because there's lots of times when if you're sick, you still have to take care of your baby. Mm-hmm. You still have to take care of it because that's your baby. You are the one. You are responsible for that baby.
Yes.
And so even when you don't feel like it, if that's your time that you're supposed to be taking care of your baby, you need to take care of it.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think that's all we got for tonight. And if you guys have a question, you can post it. But I will say that we post in the team groups afterwards what your takeaways. That's so important, you guys, to go in there and put your takeaways in the groups, whether it's Shannon's 360 or my Rockin' group. When we post the takeaway thing, you know, it helps people in a lot of ways. It helps your teams that weren't on the call see that there was a lot of knowledge and motivation and education shared on the call, because everyone is putting what they learned in the call. People are learning from that. Even the people that maybe aren't committed enough yet to get on the calls, they're learning when they're reading the comments. So make sure that you're posting the comments in there, what you took away. It helps the people that were on the call remember, oh yeah, she took this away, but I took this away. You know, everyone gets their own things from these calls. And so when we post those takeaway posts in our team groups, that is for you guys. It helps. If you see something that's going to help one of your new ambassadors, tag them in it.
Yes.
Tag them in that so that they can see what was talked about on the call. Maybe they're not ready to get on a call yet, but they can learn a lot of information from those comments. Mm-hmm. So we will post that after the call.
And I just want to just say to you guys, there are 75 people on this call tonight. And I can't tell you how important it is for you to be on training calls. So I want you to know from Jana and I, sorry, I'm eating a Halls so I don't cough, how much we appreciate you guys being here and being on these training calls, because that is huge. And although, you know, maybe you're thinking, you know, my business is so slow right now, or I'm not getting customers like I want to, or I'm trying so hard to get an ambassador, but yet you're committed to be here on the calls. I'm telling you, this will help you. And being here and committing to that shows us your commitment to Plexus, because I'm telling you, when you take time, and I know that time is very precious, and we appreciate that from you guys, because you do take the time to be here every Thursday night and commit to that. We honor that. We value that you guys are here, that you want to come and even listen to us say anything because we're just a couple of regular gals just like you guys. So we've just been doing it a bit longer, so we have a little bit more knowledge. But in 3 years, you guys can be doing these exact same calls with your downline. And more than anything, that's what we want to see. We want to be able, in 3 years from now, for you guys to say, hey, can you come be a guest on my call with my team? My team of, I have 100 people on my call. Can you come and do that with me? And we will absolutely do it. So that's what we want to see more than anything, is for you guys to do it and to take off. So we love you all, and we so appreciate you being on the business and investing in yourself and in your business tonight. Thank you.
Definitely. And if you can't, there are times where you can't be on the calls because you have to work or whatever.
Right.
Make sure you put it in your calendar to watch that call when it's posted. And make sure your team members are watching it too. The ones that couldn't be on it, make sure that you're tagging them when we post the recording. Because there are some people's lives that they can't be on the calls on Thursday night. And we totally understand that if it's not possible. Right. We don't want you to go watch your favorite show during this call.
Right.
Something else. But
I should be your favorite show.
Yeah. If you have to work, if you have other obligations that you just, you have a team game. We understand that. Kids things, we understand that. But make sure that you make it a priority to watch the recording, and make sure your team is watching the recordings, because these calls will give them such valuable information about growing their teams and their businesses.
Yes. And speaking of when you have things to do and you can't be here, we will just go ahead and tell you guys now that March 16th, that's 2 weeks from tonight, there will not be a training call. Jana and I both, our kids are on spring break that week. So we are going to be going away with our families, spending some time with them for spring break.